I am Queen Bee Crafts on YouTube. My pronouns are she, her, and this is my first Flosstube. Today is August the 3rd, 2023, and I just want to go through a couple little things with y'all. People say that they're so nervous recording their first video, and I am, but at the same time, there's like a part of me that's like, yeah, whatever. I did stream on Twitch for a while. I was playing Animal Crossing, so talking to myself is not as weird as it might be for some people. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little introduction. I have both the get to know your needleworker tag and new YouTuber tag, so I'm gonna just use this as kind of a reference, because sometimes when you're talking about yourself, you have like a whole bunch of things to talk about, and then as soon as you start talking about them, you forget everything. So first on the new YouTuber tag is, what is your name and the name of your channel? So I already listed those. My name's Eve, and my channel is Queen Bee Crafts. The second one is, what does the name of your channel mean? Well, everyone on the internet for the longest time has always called me Queen Bee. I think because my name is so short, it's really hard to make a nickname for my name, but friends when I was growing up, they were like, we want to try and shorten it, so they just started calling me V. But I've changed it so that it's a capital V and two small E's, because why not? So yeah, that's where Queen Bee comes from. Crafts being, I love cross stitch, but I also have a couple other hobbies. I diamond paint. I'm trying to get into sewing. We'll see. And yeah, those are my two main hobbies. So you'll probably see some diamond painting on this channel as well in the future. Third question is, where are you from? I am originally from Virginia, Northern Virginia, like probably an hour and a half-ish outside of Washington, D.C. But my husband, we got married last month. Well, actually, 2 months ago. It's August. We got married the end of June, and he's in the Navy, so we are living down in the Norfolk area. I do live in Virginia Beach, very close to the Oceana Naval Air Station, so I will apologize in advance for the jet noise that you probably will hear. And yeah, so fourth question is, why did I start a YouTube channel? So I've been watching Flosstube now for about a year and a half, and there are four YouTubers that have really inspired me to go on this journey and share what I'm working on with you all. First of all, Rachel Ray. She is amazing, and she has a lot of similar interests to me. She does both diamond painting and cross stitch. You can follow her at Rachel Ray Fiber Arts on YouTube. That is her new Flosstube channel. Or if you go to her main channel, which has a lot more of her diamond painting content, is where she started her Flosstube. So she's got every other video up on that channel, up to, oh gosh, she's in the hundreds of videos at this point. So lots of great content to watch with her. Second is Bridget, the museum stitcher. Oh my gosh, what she works on is beautiful, and she just seems like such a fun and exciting person to be around. Like, I want to be her friend, to be honest. And she is from Texas, which is where my husband is originally from. They're not from the same area, unfortunately, but you know, Texas, gotta represent. Third being Cam the Stitcher. Cameron, can we be besties, please? You're only like 3.5 hours from me. She's super fun, and all of her projects are like super quirky, and I love that. You'll see a lot of the projects that I'm working on are not like your traditional cross stitch. I have a lot more like quirkier things, or just things that make me happy, and I think that a lot of what she works on is similar in that way. She doesn't do what everyone else is doing all the time. She has a lot of, you know, quirks and things that are fun and more like gothic and Halloweeny, and that's the aesthetic that I strive for, even though it's not my aesthetic. And then fourth is Marjorie Made Stitches. She, again, super fun to watch. She's so like woo out there and like just fun. It's hard to explain like what about her I enjoy watching so much. I think too, the projects that she picks are very similar to Cam's, which is why I discovered her, or how I discovered her to begin with. And you know, that little group of girls, and Megan, the Seattle Stitcher's in there too. I like watching her content, but it's not one of the four main girlies that kind of got me into the idea of I want to make a Flosstube. So that is that. Number 5 is what will your channel be about? Duh. Queen V Crafts. I'm gonna try to have this be a crafty channel. I might do some whip-in chats here and there. Definitely will be doing at least monthly updates for Flosstube. Might do some extras. We'll see. And if I try anything else crafty, I might post it on here as well. So the next question, or the last one on here, well, there's a lot more, but I've kind of narrowed it down. Last one on here is, if you could collab with anyone right now, who would it be? And as I was prepping for this video, I was thinking about this, and I was like, oh, who would I want to like chat with and kind of, pick their brain a bit and have them be here and talking with you all as well. And I think I would want Cam, the Stitcher, to do a collab with me, just because like she seems so fun and nice and down to earth, and like, I don't want to say doesn't care, but like she doesn't care about what other people think about her. She's like very like, I'm gonna do me, and no one else can get in the way of that. And I love that personality. Couldn't be me. Striving for it, but couldn't be me. So yeah, that is at least some of the questions off of the new YouTuber tag. I'm going to breeze through the get to know your needleworker tag, because some of them I've kind of already covered. So first one, where do you live? Virginia Beach. What do I do for a living? Currently I am unemployed. I have worked in restaurants and dental offices prior. My last job actually was working for Closet Factory, which is a custom closet and custom built-ins company where you go in and you design spaces for clients and then have those pieces built for them. I loved the designing aspect, but being a salesperson, not for me. So I left there in February, before we moved down here in April. Do I have any children? Not yet. Hoping to. We'll see. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have 2 cats. Their names are Captain and Ash Puddle. If I can figure it out, I will put in a picture of them here. They are my boys, my babies. Of any other hobbies besides stitching? Yes, diamond painting, and I've kind of tried a lot of things. Rug hooking, or latch hook, I think is what it's called. Done like clay things, some painting, bullet journaling, but nothing has kind of ever stuck with me besides cross stitch and diamond painting. I think because I'm not like an artistic person and I just love being able to follow a pattern. I do make quite a few changes to the patterns that I'm working on, so in that way I'm like, oh, I'm crafty and like artistic, but for the most part I like cross stitch and diamond painting because I can just follow the pattern and someone else was artistic for me. What's my favorite movie? Oh gosh, so no judgment, Harry Potter is my favorite both book and movie series of all time. Specifically the 5th Harry Potter, The Order of the Phoenix. I don't know, there's just something about it that has always drawn me in. So that is both my favorite movie and favorite book. In between those 2 questions is favorite TV show. And I don't watch a ton of TV. If I'm watching TV, it's usually like anime with my husband. But in the past, I've really liked like House MD, Grey's Anatomy, a lot of medical dramas, if we're being completely honest. But yeah, now that I can write them down, obviously, and I can't obviously think of anything. I like a lot of like docuseries things. I don't know. That's a hard one. If I can think of it, in the next video that I put up, I will tell you what my favorite TV show is. Favorite music? Oh, I don't have a specific like song or artist that I really, really love, or that is my favorite. But I love listening to like pop punk, like early 2000s emo stuff. That, and currently I've been listening to a lot of Blanco Brown. While my husband was on his last deployment, they actually flew him out to the ship that he was on, and he did a concert for them. And then when he came home, he was like, oh my gosh, we had this guy come out and listen to all his music. And it is really fun, especially in the summer. I like to drive around with my music really loud and my windows down. So, I don't know, there's just something about his like trap country that's very fun for the summer. So we'll see if that changes, you know, going into the winter. But yeah, that's where I'm at for favorite music right now. And then the last question on here is, what's one word that best describes you? I want to say like klutzy or clumsy, because I have a very hard time like walking in a straight line. But I'm also really empathetic and compassionate, and I think it's hard for people to say that about themselves. But I do care a lot about people that I care about. Family, friends, and like people that I feel like are family and friends. There's a couple other girlies on Flosstube. One that comes to mind specifically is Lunar Witch Stitchery. She's been going through it the last month, and I just really feel for her. And I really hope that things work out. So yeah, we are now 15 minutes in, and I've done introductions. So let's talk about some cross stitch now, because that's why you're all here. So I have my tablet, which has some of the rest of my notes. I usually use an app called Jet, flying over. Sorry, I usually use an app called X Stitch Plus, which keeps track for me all of my projects. But I can't access that right now because I'm filming on my phone. So I have a Google Doc too that I will attempt to link down below, that has all of my current projects, you know, who they're designed by, fabric that they're on, floss that I'm using, when I started, when I finished, and like any other little notes about them. So let's talk about things that I've done in July, because I was trying to, I wanted to start this channel, film this first video the end of July. Life got kind of busy, and so now today is the first opportunity that I have to sit down with all of my things spread out everywhere. I don't know if you heard that. That was the cat's automatic feeder bowl. To sit down with all my things spread out and actually film for probably close to an hour, if we're being completely honest. So, first things first. I had never done Whipco before, mostly because I am pretty much a monogamous stitcher when it comes to projects, and I don't love huge projects. So I tend to stitch things that I can finish like within a couple of weeks. The exception to the rule is a very large project that I have been working on since February. And this is from Lord Libidin. He's the one who has done the Pokemon Generations patterns, and they're all free on his website. This one included. This one is called Poke-All. I apologize that it's still in the Q-snap. I just moved the Q-snap, and I really didn't feel like taking it out and doing all that stuff. So this is Poke-All. If I can pull up my stuff, this is 18 count light blue Aida. I'm stitching it 1/1. That's one thing about me. I don't love when stitches are super puffy. So I tend to stitch 1/1 on 18. And it depends on the pattern, but sometimes I'll stitch 1/1 on 16 and 2/1 on 14. But this is where I have gotten to so far. There's a little bit extra at the top that's covered by the Q-snap, but as you can see, Wiggly Tuff is done completely. I worked down this way to Caterpie because Caterpie is the farthest on the left hand side of the chart, and I wanted to make sure that I had left myself enough margin because this pattern too has background charted as white, but I didn't want to do that. I want the light blue to peek through, and I want the light blue to be the background. So I wanted to make sure that I had left myself enough margin on that side, and I did. There is like 3.5 inches, which is beautiful. So yeah, now I'm just going to pop back up here. I'm going to work kind of down this way into this section. I think that's like 4 pages-ish worth. So yeah, that's where I'm at on this one, and that's a project that's been going on since February. So yeah. that is my only really big project. And people like show their project bags. I just keep everything in these Amazon bags. I got the pretty colored ones, so the different zipper top parts are like not your traditional, red, blue, green, yellow. They're like these pretty pastel colors. And then when I'm storing them on my shelf, I have these little key tags that I write the project that's in them on. They just sit on my counter like that. Okay. So that's my really big project that I've been working on since February. Next is a project that I started the end of June. I apologize for the zipper noise. Me and my husband went to Williamsburg, Virginia for our honeymoon. He had flown me out to 2 of the ports they went to for their deployment, so I got to visit both Italy and Greece this past year, which was phenomenal. So we really didn't think we needed like a honeymoon, so we went to Busch Gardens and Colonial Williamsburg for our honeymoon after our wedding. One of the shops in Colonial Williamsburg was selling counted cross stitch. Wow, why is that so hard to say? Kits. And I asked my husband if he would buy me 2. This is one of them. This is the Governor's Palace. The designer is the Posey Collection. The artist is C.L. Humphreys. And it looks like that. This was a kit. It had all the fabric and the floss in here. So I just used the fabric and the floss out of here. And this one, let's see. I started June 30th and I finished it July 20th. And again, this is 14 count Ada. This was in the kit. And this is what it looks like. Oh, it looks so good. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I definitely struggled a bit on those words down there because in the original charting, they're not even close. And I'm really hoping that this shows up for you all correctly, like you're not reading it backwards. Because I'm filming in selfie mode on my phone. Anywho, so I went online and I found a, what's it called? Alphabet, that I really liked to do our names and the year that we went / got married underneath. And yeah, this is 2/1 on this cream 14 count Ada. I really like how it turned out. So that is that. And this one I've got in the light green. Sorry about my working copy. I'm gonna flip that around. The light green color project with the tag. Yeah. Put that there. Actually, let me put it back here. Next is a zipper, sorry. Heart and hand pattern. I freaking love all of these birds. I want them all. I have 2 of them. we'll see. This is the Coffee Bird by Heart and Hand Needle Art. I switched the charting up on this one a little bit. And I'll show you that in just a second. I love how quirky these birds are with their legs. I just love them. So this one I stitched on 16 count ivory Aida. This is 2/1 on this piece of fabric, and these ones call for Classic Colorworks. So this was the first time that I had ever worked with something other than DMC, and I love fancy floss. I'm working on trying to build up a collection and actually collect everything, especially in Classic Colorworks. I love them the most. So in terms of this piece that I stitched, I switched out the colors for the words and the coffee beans, because I thought it was a little too green for coffee in my opinion, so I made it a darker brown. And then I don't know if you can tell, but the beak and the wing are different colors than the original charting. Here's the cover photo. I don't know if you can tell. And I also added this cute little heart. And yeah, this is Coffee Bird. He's adorable. I love him very much. Okay, and this one, the bag is tan. Alright. Zipper noise, I apologize. This is another Heart and Hand. This is Summer Whirligig. Again, birds that have long legs are kind of my weakness, I think. And also sunflowers and bees. So this kind of ticked every single box. I apologize if you can hear my cat coughing up a hairball. Great, love that. Anywho, so this is Summer Whirligig. I am stitching this one. Open up my notes here again. This is 16 count platinum Aida, and I'm stitching 2/1. And it calls for a ridiculous number. Sorry, not a ridiculous number. A ridiculous amount of different fancy flosses. It's like 4 Classic Colorworks, 3 Gentle Arts, and 3 Weeks or something like that. So since I'm trying to build up my stash, I did buy them all, but I'm not using them all because I didn't love how they all looked. I also changed the charting on this one quite a bit. So here is where I'm at on Summer Whirligig. I think all I have left to do is put in one more sheep, and that's my own choice. Because every other element is done in this pattern. Here's what the original, trying to do it so you can also still see my face. This is what the original charting looks like, and this is what I changed the charting to. So yeah, I added a sun, I removed the big summer block. I didn't think it was necessary because either you know that this is for summer or you could leave it up all year round, because I have a farmhouse kitchen style, so I might frame this and put it in there because I have a lot of sunflowers and bees. So I actually still need to do all of the outlining on the bees, but I added a second sunflower, I moved the hive down, I put the truck on the opposite side, I moved the barn up. So there's a lot of changes that I made to this one, but I really love how it looks. And yeah, that is summer whirligig. I definitely haven't been saying when I start these things. So let me fix that. Hold on. Hold, please. Okay. So Coffee Bird, I started July 9th and I finished it on July 11th. And Summer Whirligig, I started on July 22nd. And I still have those just little, I mean, if I sat down today, I could finish it. But I'm not going to because August Whip Go is a thing. So that one is getting put aside for a little bit. Speaking of August Whip Go, I had, this is yellow, I had a freebie by Darling and Whimsy. So one of her quirky Quakers get pulled for August Whip Go. So I could technically show you the pattern because it's a freebie. You can find it on her website. This was a collaboration when Roxy Flossco, when they rebranded, when they reopened, they had a couple other designers design things with cats, and Darling and Whimsy gave a fishbone to the box for the re-release of Roxy Flossco, like dropping Leo out of Leo and Roxy. So this is Fishbone. I think that this is so cute. Look at the little cats around the edge. I've noticed I do stitch a lot of things that are freebies because obviously free, but this one I really wish that she would have charged for, because I would have paid for this chart a bunch of times because I just think it's so adorable. So this one is stitched on a 28 count Monaco that I, got a big tube of it at Michael's. And actually this is the first time that I've stitched on something that's not Aida, and the first time that I'm stitching 2/2. And this is where I'm 2 so far. I definitely changed a little bit in the fish. I didn't love the pointiness of the head, so I added one more column in somewhere in here so that the front could be more of that flat, rounded as opposed to pointed. And then I've just done the top of the Quaker. So yeah, I'm gonna work on this again probably tomorrow. I'm gonna try and get it done tomorrow, actually. I'm stitching this one with a DMC Etoile, so I don't know if you can actually see the sparkle in it. It's probably not very visible on camera, but this one is DMC Etoile A20, and I just have it wrapped around a little piece of cardboard. I made my own floss strap because I'm cheap and I haven't bought floss straps, so yay. And I started this one on August 1st. This was one of my Whip Go pulls. My Whip Go goal is to finish this one. My other Whip Go call was for my Pokemon stitch. That one is for 14 days. Doesn't matter how many stitches I put in, just as long as I touch it 14 days. And those are my whips and finishes for the last couple of months. Now I want to talk about plans for this month. So I obviously am working on my WhipGo projects, but I don't have very many whips. I know there's a lot of people that have, 30, 40, 50 active whips. I say active, but it's like, projects that they're working on. And to me, that's just like, that's crazy, but also the dream. Like, I want to have that many things to choose from. If I don't want to work on what I'm working on for WhipGo, I can go and look at my stash and pull something that I've already started. Because to me, that's always the hardest part, is getting started, like the kitting out process and counting and figuring out where you're going to put your first stitch. But once things are started, it's pretty easy to like keep working on things. So I want to start something else this month in addition to working on things for WhipGo. So I apologize for the crinkles, but I'm gonna grab my bag of physical patterns. When I first moved to Virginia Beach, I was over the moon because for the first time in my life, I have an LNS. So if you all are ever in Virginia Beach, go visit Dying to Stitch. They are awesome. But I've gone in and made way too many purchases there in the last 3 months. So I have a bag. This is one of their bags, and it is currently holding all of my patterns that I've purchased from them in the past 3 months. So I'm gonna pull these out. Okay, first things first, I do have one project partially kitted. I need to still get the flosses for it, but this is another one of those quirky birds from Heart and Hand. This is the Stitching bird. So I could start this one. I don't know if I want to though. We'll see. I might to get in my mind the zipper noises. I know not everyone likes those. So I'm kind of asking an opinion from you all. What else I should start this month. So I have Stitching Bird. I have a couple other little guys from Heart and Hand. This is actually, this is on my WhipGo board, both of these, so I'm gonna put these off to the side because I know I'm gonna stitch them this year. I have Honey of a Tiny Town and Honey Frill. So I am planning on sticking her into the Tiny Town. So this is an option. I think the sunflowers and like just how adorable this is might be a good summer stitch. And I know I've seen a lot of people do these really small. So this could be fun. Option 2, because Stitching Bird. Option 3 is Little House Needleworks. This is, I think it's called Louise and Henry. Yeah, Louise and Henry. I'm also a huge sheep fan. So that's another reoccurring theme that you'll see. And there's sunflowers in this one. So I think my 3 main themes for my cross stitch is birds, sunflowers, and like quirky things. So I love how awkwardly shaped this sheep is. He's so long. And by long, I mean thick. So option 3. No, I don't want to do either of these. So I have currently one Plum Street animal stack, and that's Corgi Caboodle. This could be option 4. They are just so cute. And I don't know if I bought this for the dogs or the cherry blossoms in the back. Either way. So this is another option. I want to start this one in September, but I know it's going to take me a long time to do, and if I start in September, I know I won't be done for like Halloween stitching. But I guess this is also fall stuff, and this is the very all over Flosstube Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I am planning on doing a slight color conversion on this one. I'm not super blown away with the border, so we'll see. This is option, what, 5? And I do have a couple other like ones I'm not like I want to start this in August about, but I'll just show you. So I have Modern Folk Embroideries. That's also really hard for me to say. Quaker of Hearts. I think I want to do this one. Maybe I'll start at the end of the year. I have a feeling it's going to take me a couple months to do. And I'd like to try and have it done by my husband and I's first anniversary. So, this. I have Heartstring Sampleries. Oh my gosh, she does the cutest, like, early 2000s inspired patterns. This is Who Let the Frogs Out. And it has, you know, all the stitching stuff, because what do we do when we don't like something? We rip it. Rip it. Rip it. So Who Let the Frogs Out? This is also accompanied by Whip It Good Hoop. There it is. And, oh gosh, there's one other. I can't remember what it is right now, but they're all so fun. This would also, I'll throw this one in. This is another option for August. So yeah. Let me know down in the comments which project do you think I should start. Stitching Bird, Honey of a Tiny Town, Away We Ride, Who Let the Frogs Out, and I'm forgetting one. Oh, Louise and Henry. Or Corgi Caboodle, because I'm organized. Just to continue going through these, because I don't have that many others. Also, when we were in Williamsburg, the other kit that my husband purchased for me was Hodgepodge. This is a doll that has really long arms and really long legs, and was used to teach alphabet to children. So you know, use his arms and legs, form them into the letters. I was purchased a Hodgepodge doll when I was 2 from Williamsburg, and it was my favorite stuffed animal of all time. I still have him. That's why I got this one. So it is a kit. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do it yet. I'm leaning towards keeping this in my stash because it really kind of is meaningful to me. And I don't want to do it yet and just have it probably put in a box because I'm terrible when it comes to actually finishing things. So that, I have Waxy Moon Designs. This is Cat Owner's Welcome. Yes, I should be showing them on the side because I'm more on this side of the camera. We have 2 cats. Obviously, this was a must to bring home. I have You're in the Woods number 8. This is the barn owl. He is just so cool. I want to stitch this one for my mom. Maybe. Probably. She's a huge bird person too, and he's just, all his colors and his feathers are so neat. So I have this one. And then the last two that I have in this bag, I've been collecting all of the thread milk states of the ones that we've lived in for our duty stations. So I have 2 so far. The first duty station that we moved to was in Connecticut. So I have the Connecticut, which is the 10th state in the Union. And obviously, because this is where we live now, Virginia is the 20th state of the Union. So that's my collection of patterns. I didn't show you one, Heart and Hands imprints of Harvest and Home. I guess I should have, because this is in my collection, but both of these are on my Whipco board for the rest of this year, so we'll see. Hopefully they get pulled in September, October, and November, because they're very autumn, fall, and that would be fun to do then. So yeah, I think that might just be the end of my first video, and we're coming up on 50 minutes, so maybe with a little bit of editing we'll get a little shorter than that. But I appreciate everybody coming and checking me out, and I know that it's a little scary to have that first video go up and oh my gosh, what is the reaction gonna be? But I know that this community is amazing, and I know that everyone who watches this video is going to be so supportive, so not worried about that at all. Anywho, if you liked what you saw today and you're interested in following along with the rest of my stitching journey, I would love it if you subscribed, and if you could like this video too. That gets the algorithm to share my content with more people, and I would love it if you left me a comment, especially to help me pick between those 5 or 6 projects that I showed you for my new start this month. And yeah, I will talk to you all probably this time, beginning of September, or maybe the end of August, depending on what my schedule looks like. And yeah, that's it. Happy stitching, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.